Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking more TGIF fallout. As you know, in a previous video, I did a video reaction to Funky Dineva finally naming Claudia Jordan as the person who he had an issue with. That I said a couple of weeks ago was the case. Nonetheless, we have now a live from Claudia Jordan in which she has some comments about Funky Dineva that we're going to play here momentarily. And for some reason, Al Reynolds has entered the chat. I don't know why he thinks that we are interested in what he has to say, but apparently he has beef now, presumably with Claudia Jordan, because him and Funky Dineva still follow each other. And like I said in a previous video, I think there's a mole. And I think, there's something that's about to be a huge shakeup, it seems, because Claudia is getting her YouTube together, as well as Al Reynolds talking about when he reaches 1,000 subscribers, which is when you're eligible to become a partner to monetize your videos. That is going to be when Al Reynolds is going to, I guess, spill the tea and give, quote unquote, his side of the story, although the issue, it seems at hand, between Funky Dineva and Claudia Jordan. But I digress. So we are going to listen to this. I will give you a reaction and kind of what I feel is about to happen next. So there is that. So we are going to cue this up and take a listen, you guys.
Follow if you disrespect what's me and yell at me and make me cry. So yes, I did. Okay? That's all I'm giving y'all tonight. Me, I'm not fighting with him, and now I'm gonna leave it at that. I wanted him on the show, loved him on the show. He's a talent. Didn't tell me that he was leaving. Didn't have any conversation with me about his issues with the contract. I was the last one to find out. So when I found out, we had to scramble and just grab people to get on the show. That is that. We said a very classy goodbye to him on the show. He posted it. He has since deleted it. And then he keeps calling me all kind of names on his live. So I blocked him because I have to protect my peace. And that's that. I'm not arguing with people in this 2024. I'm not doing it. I was known for being in people's chats. What, am I wrong for doing this?
Let me tell you something. No, I'm joking.
I got time. No, I'm not going to argue with people, especially people that I used to love. I'm not going to do it.
No, because you know what? Whenever it's all said and done and the dust has settled, there's a lot of emotions going on right now.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, I think everybody's grown. Some people are just a little growner than others. But when the dust settles, like, you guys want to be able to talk it out and squash it and be friends. But whenever you start talking, some things go to a point of no return. You don't ever want to get to that.
Right, so I answer, then you're going to clip this and send it to him and say she's talking, and then not even give him the context, and then it gets worse. So I choose to ignore it.
But it is all in the comments. Like, every comment is about that. So I think at some point you do have to address it, and you do have to let it know, like, it's no shade being thrown either.
He called me on kind of B words. Well, then that's why I rightfully blocked him. Do I need to see that? And it hurt make my day negative? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. We're not doing that, y'all. We're going to keep positive. I got a lot of things to be happy about and proud about, and I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to keep finding opportunities for my friends and for us to make money like I always do. Anyone that knows me knows I love putting money in my friends' pockets. And that's next payday. Today's my payday.
Y'all be alright. And Funky will too.
You gotta be, both y'all bitches got to feed carpet.
Cause you're gonna
White fur carpet made out of their issue is there's a lot of people he don't like. He don't like Chloe Bailey. He don't like Halle Bailey. He don't like this one. He don't like that one. So if I was gonna keep everybody off that he don't like. So y'all, it's not like I went and got Michelle Brown that I know he has a definite beef with. So there's that.
Hey, at the end of the day, you know what I can't say? Are you live?
Yeah.
I really do. And I mean, I like Flame. Oh, yeah, I love her. I love her laughter. She's contagious. Her energy is contagious. And there's no shade being thrown at nobody. Like, I love people that have great energy.
Wait, they said
like, she is so energetic. And she really is having fun and enjoying. She's gonna be her. She's gonna laugh about it. That laugh.
You know what? I'm just gonna drop that because I didn't hear him call my name or say a threat to me, so I'm gonna let it go. Because unless I hear it, it didn't happen.
Yeah. He got your number, so if he was talking to you, he was calling. Yeah.
am. They say the Galactic Barbie doll says you should let me decorate your house and decor. It's too basic.
So those were the comments from Claudia Jordan's live, in which I had to bleep out. So a couple parts that seemed choppy, I was editing out a lot of the cussing because there was so much cussing in there, primarily by Claudia Jordan's friends. So I just didn't want that on my platform. But nonetheless, she is saying that, anybody who is, mean or negative or talking crap about her, she blocks them, she unfollows them or whatever to protect her peace. She is hearing that Funky Dineva allegedly is calling her all types of B's and all of these things. She's saying that, people don't know the full story and everything that's happening, and she said she's not going to get into a back and forth with Funky Dineva. She's not going to be arguing back and forth with people in 2024. Also, that Funky Dineva doesn't like a lot of people in the industry, so it's like she can't just block everybody from coming on the show. Then there was like weird comments, people alleging that Funky Dineva was sending threats to Claudia Jordan. And so they were trying to, then there was other people in there that were like, no, it wasn't threats. He just said, if you clap back or if you say X, Y, and Z, then he's going to spill more tea or whatever. And so that was kind of like the gist of it. And then they started talking about Flame Monroe. Here's the thing. I think, like I said in my last video about this, because I'm going to be chronicling this like from beginning to end, because this is a public story at this point, and we need to discuss as to why this is the second show that Claudia Jordan has on Fox Soul that is completely and utterly imploding. Like completely imploding right before our eyes. What happened to Cocktails with Queens? Where is Selena Johnson to give us the tea on that? Nonetheless, I told you guys in the last video, I think there's a mole. And I think there's somebody who is being messy in between both Claudia Jordan and Funky Dineva, causing chaos. That's what I think. I think somebody is upset that Funky Dineva is no longer on Fox Soul, is no longer on TGIF. And, was expecting maybe a certain reaction from Claudia Jordan and maybe some private conversations, and then maybe felt a certain type of way that, Claudia Jordan was quickly trying to scramble and recommend certain people to fill in as co-host if she really didn't know that Funky Dineva was going to be leaving so abruptly and last minute, and was throwing out names and seeing who could quickly come out there to be co-host in replacement of, finding a permanent replacement for Funky Dineva. And Flame Monroe is one of those people. We know that Funky Dineva doesn't like Flame Monroe. We know that Funky Dineva said on TGIF that Flame Monroe would never be on the show as long as he was there. So here's the thing. Like you guys know, I'm objective. I'm going to call out the facts. I'm going to give my honest opinion. There's no sides here. There's no favoritism. But if you make a comment that says, as long as I am on this show, I do not want this person to be on the show. And as long as you're on the show, that person never appeared on the show. And you're no longer on the show, and now the person is on the show. So that part I don't understand as to why that is, trying to be used as a component, as a gotcha, as like whatever is being alleged about Claudia Jordan. I don't feel that was a snake move, because ultimately, especially in these YouTube streets, there's all kinds of YouTube beef out here. So if you don't get along with a whole bunch of people, it's not going to matter who was the co-host and who was sitting in this co-hosting seat, right? Technically the word was kept by both Claudia Jordan and the company Fox Soul in that Flame Monroe was never there while you were there. And now they're there while you're not there. So there was no trust or anything that was broken. But I do think somebody is stirring the pot because they're pissed that Funky Dineva is gone. And maybe they feel that Claudia Jordan could have done more to fight for Funky Dineva, but per this video, she is claiming that she didn't even know that Funky Dineva was going to be walking away, or that there was issues with his contract negotiations. Perhaps it could have been something that maybe he was confiding in with Al Reynolds or somebody else, but Claudia Jordan, per this video, is saying she had no clue. She had no idea. This is new information to her. And so she said as a result of that, she had to scramble. She had to quickly find some replacement co-hosts and all the things. And so she said that she no longer, is going to go like this for somebody she no longer has love for. She says she is somebody who always loves to put her friends on, loves to have making, her friends in the industry or putting people on into the industry and helping them make money. Talked about all these positive things that she has going on in her life, and that she's booked and busy. Basically, she doesn't have time to be going back and forth with this foolishness with Funky Dineva, and that people are going to clip it and try to push a false narrative. And then she had mentioned too that she had previously been in chats, I presume, of other content creators. And here's the thing, I mean, Claudia Jordan is free to check everybody to see what people are saying about her. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And she's free to do interviews with whoever she wants. There's not an issue with that. It's good promotion for herself, right? But I feel like we're losing the plot. I feel like we're losing the plot because we went from walking away amicably from Fox Soul because you felt you were not being paid enough to being upset that they asked you to send back the microphone for that was $127 that you deleted. They did a celebration video, a tribute video to you, Funky Dineva, in which you had, said a really, nice heartwarming post and how happy and all those things, whatever, that you have now deleted. And it's kind of just been these like little comments, these little jabs or whatever. But now things have escalated. And I think, like Claudia Jordan shades like a little bit different because it's not like as in your face as people normally shade, but sometimes it's kind of like those comments that you'll kind of like laugh at the end of it, so you're not really sure if they're joking or being serious, but it still kind of is shade, like saying that Funky Dineva can audition again for the show. like comments like that basically, or that you're the person that put him on or whatever else. Sometimes people can kind of twist that and make it into, a thing. But, point blank, Funky Dineva now is saying that he has a beef with Claudia Jordan, that his issue is with Claudia Jordan, and he feels, at least what he was alluding to in this live from the other night, that she orchestrated it so that Flame Monroe could be there. And here's the thing. If what Claudia is saying is true, and she had to quickly get people who would agree to come on this platform, come on TGIF, and be available, like I said, you're no longer on the show, so ultimately she's not trying to be petty or be messy or whatever, right? However, Tasha K definitely, inserted herself into the chat to be messy and cause even more chaos and discord this week, as well as Funky Dineva is intentionally going live every night this week to prove a point. And like I said in the previous video, I want to see if this is going to continue moving forward or if this is specifically in response to Flame Monroe being on the show. But I do feel strongly that there's a mole. I feel strongly that there is a mole who does not like Claudia and maybe never did like Claudia. And now that Funky Dineva is gone and they're seeing kind of, the dynamics of how the show is running without Funky Dineva, they're now complaining to Funky Dineva about it. And now Funky Dineva is, and they're probably telling Funky Dineva, things that they thought, was being told, that maybe Claudia thought she was telling this person in confidence. And they're telling Funky Dineva these things. And he's like even more pissed because now he's using whatever was told to him as a, reason that he no longer, wants to consider Claudia Jordan a friend. They're no longer following each other. Apparently, Al Reynolds has liked a recent post of Funky Dineva's. They still follow each other. Funky Dineva and Al Reynolds still follow each other. However, Claudia Jordan and Funky Dineva do not follow each other anymore, and Claudia Jordan does not follow Al Reynolds anymore. So I think, there is a common denominator in this, and it is the least interesting person of TGI Friday, who is in their own scandal currently with their inappropriate comment about, Nia Long, which I might do a separate video on that because I was just completely and utterly disgusted with the comment from Star Jones' ex-husband. So I am, he's now creating a YouTube video in which he said once he gets 1,000 subscribers, he is going to spill the tea. And I just don't, you guys, why are we doing this? Why does everybody now need a YouTube channel? What's happening with TGIF? You guys are making $250K at least. Why do you guys need YouTube channels? What is happening? What is going on? Is the show ending? Is TGIF ending? Like, what is happening? I just don't know, you guys. Like, it's just very weird. It is just weird, very weird. Like I said, everything started off cool, copacetic, even though I knew there was like some underlying shade when Claudia Jordan's name was not mentioned in the initial like kumbaya. I've moved on from Fox. I walked away, blah, blah, blah. I told you guys that there was beef, that there was issues, and things have completely escalated beyond return because people were throwing out various names, trying to throw other people under the bus who had nothing to do with the situation at hand. And forced, Funky Dineva's hand to come forward and say ultimately he has beef with Claudia Jordan, but kind of did also say that in the event that Claudia Jordan says or does something as well that he feels is, a shot back at him, that he's just going to let have and spill all the tea. And that he is an automatic semi-automatic weapon that's going to really expose everything. So I'm curious on what that specifically is. If it's just like a private conversation of maybe Claudia Jordan venting about the company, which isn't something that's unusual, or if it's something that's actually very damaging. Or if this is something that, the mole relayed information to Funky Dineva that he feels, might be problematic and is going to use as his trump card, as his last bomb to drop whenever he feels, in the event that this is going to continue to be a back and forth, right? So I don't really, to be honest with you guys, I don't think that there's jealous. I see a lot of those comments that, oh, so-and-so is jealous of, the numbers and the views and blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's that. I just think with how everything kind of ended abruptly, it just seems like there was more to the story. And that the way things kind of just ended abruptly and Funky Dineva was quickly like, hey, you're not going to see me on the show tomorrow. It just left a lot of questions than answers. And, I think everybody is just trying to piece together the facts to properly assess the situation. But now we have completely done a 180 from, being all love, peace, and hair grease to now I have an issue with you. And I no longer love you anymore, and I no longer follow you anymore because you're mean to me. And I don't want to see mean and negative things on my timeline, on my For You page or whatever. So I left that alone. I left you alone or whatever. So this will be interesting. Like I said, your girl is going to continue monitoring the situation. It is a public story, just like Tasha K's drama is always a public story. So we'll continue to monitor it. Because, hey, if TGIF is paying $250K at least, to, do a Zoom on YouTube and air on other networks and things like that, for 5 hours a week, are you kidding me? Do you know how many people would, do that job for $250K, 5 hours a week? And that's it. And then you actually still have your own YouTube channel in which you were making money off of. Because I believe, some time back, Funky Dineva said he was making $150K a year or something on YouTube. So again, that's multiple streams of income. That's multiple checks. I don't see the issue, right? I don't see the issue at all because that's multiple streams of income. And like I said in the last video, you could have parlayed the negotiations by doing a short-term contract, like a 3-month contract for a certain amount or what have you, that would have been like a fraction of what you were making to prove a point that the views were going to be a certain amount, they were going to average a certain amount in the chat with you still being there to show your value to the company and then renegotiate. Or even with this quote-unquote walking away situation, utilizing your lives for positive and not throwing shade at Fox Soul or discussing Flame Monroe or discussing Claudia Jordan, all these things, and just keeping it about what you do best on your platform. Then from there, Fox can analyze the analytics between your show and TGIF and be like, wow, we really missed, somebody who really brought a lot to TGIF. Let's renegotiate. Let's call Funky Dineva and his people up and give him more money and give him the money that he is worth. That is what, playing chess looks like, you guys. But when you go down the path of now you're just going to get down and gutter, and now you're just going to expose people, and now you're just going to spill people's tea, then it's burning bridges. It is burning bridges. Now you're ruining future opportunities in the event. You know, Claudia Jordan has other opportunities out there where it might be another radio show, it might be another podcast, it might be another, you know, program that's discussing celebrity news and gossip on a radio program or whatever. And, you know, you could have been in the running for that, or she could have had you in mind initially as a co-host for that, but with all this drama, with all this chaos, you think she's a snake, you think she did something underhand, and, you know, now that relationship is basically done. And it's unfortunate. Like, I felt there was tension for a while between these three in particular. I just never felt like, you know, there was ever, like, a really good close friendship as far as I'm concerned as it pertained to Claudia Jordan and Funky Dineva, as well as Claudia Jordan and Al. I felt Al and Funky Dineva were a lot closer in comparison, and it feels like that's kind of what's happening right now as well. That, you know, things are kind of going haywire. Things are going completely haywire and off the rails. This is reminding me so much of the Breakfast Club. Remember the breakdown of Angela Yee and how she ultimately left the Breakfast Club? Because those of you who don't know, when the Breakfast Club first started with Angela Yee, DJ Envy, and Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee was the draw. She was the one who just had a huge platform on Sirius XM radio and got this gig. And so I thought she was going to have like a much larger role than simply being reduced to only really discussing the rumor report and every once in a while, you know, having more of a presence in some of the celebrity interviews. But pretty much she was just like a sidekick. Like, it ultimately ended up being Charlamagne took over the show. Charlamagne was the personality of the show. Charlamagne was the one that was going viral for controversial comments that he said or things that he did on the program or what have you. And Angela Yee kind of became atmosphere. She kind of became in the background. So definitely, and then they had their issues on air as well with certain guests, and, you know, not defending Angela Yee or siding with the guest or whatever, especially if the guest said something messy and nobody like checked that guest at all. I think that things like that is what rubbed Angela Yee the wrong way for sure, and that's why ultimately now she has her own show. And that's what I feel like now. I feel like Al Reynolds and Funky Dineva are in this place where they're like super duper close, and you know, except for in this particular instance, it would have been Claudia Jordan who would have left. But it's not that, right? But I feel like it's kind of like a similar, you know, vibe, if you guys kind of get where I'm going. In that it seems that not everybody was on the same page is basically what we're trying to get at. And two people were closer than others. Somebody else came in, you know, as we knew Claudia Jordan a lot more, you know, just due to her history and her background in television and programming and doing radio and all of the things. But ultimately, a lot of people tuned in for Funky Dineva to hear his takes, to, you know, listen to his personality and all of the things. So this is going to be interesting to see how this fallout is going to continue. Do you think the TGIF show is going to continue, is going to survive? Do you think that they are going to find the appropriate co-host to replace Funky Dineva when it is all said and done? Do you think Al Reynolds' days on TGIF is numbered? Please let me know what you think in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.